What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, on the channel where we talk about fragrances as well as fashion. So if looking good and smelling great are both of equal importance to you, then you found the right channel. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. And take another quick second, if you don't mind, to make sure that you hit the bell icon as well to ensure you get notified every time I upload new content on this channel. So guys, if you're looking for something different, something unique, something that everybody that you come into contact with, or a lot of people that you come into contact with, are not going to be wearing, if you want to smell different and unique, then this is going to be the list for you. Because on today's video, I am going to be covering several fragrances, 5 to be exact, fragrances in my collection that are very unique and complex. In my fragrance experience, my fragrance journey, if you will, I haven't come into contact with anything that smells anything close to these 5 fragrances that I am going to talk to you about today. So this should be fun. Again, if you're looking for something unique, then this is going to be the list for you. So you know how we do, you know how we get down. If you want to hear what fragrances made the list, then keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this list today. Now, if I'm honest with you, I could have just chosen, honestly, I could have chose 5 or 6 Xerjoff fragrances and 5 or 6 fragrances from Amouage, and really just could have made a list. But I wanted to give the list some versatility. But I will say, if you're looking for, in my experience, fragrances that are very unique and have some complexity and some character to them, the house of Xerjoff as well as the house of Amouage are 2 fragrance houses that I would strongly recommend. And with that being said, the first fragrance on the list today comes from the house of Amouage, and this should come as no surprise. This one is called Jubilation 25. Jubilation 25 has been deemed the fragrance of kings, and I cannot agree with that particular description more, because that's exactly what you get in this bottle. This fragrance is very, very regal. So what notes are in this fragrance, you might ask? Well, I would just say go look at a list of fragrance notes and pick one, and that fragrance note is probably in this fragrance. This thing has about 23 notes, 23 to 25 notes that are listed in this composition. So again, there's a lot going on here, but it comes out at the end to be an amazing, very complex, very original fragrance DNA. Just to name a few of the notes that are very prominent to my nose, definitely the blackberry. You're going to get a lot of the honey. You get some orbanum. You get some cinnamon in this. And those kind of notes, when I read the note breakdown to this, you know, I knew I would probably really like this fragrance. I love cinnamon. I love fragrances that have honey, and the blackberry was very intriguing to me as well. Again, just to name a few notes that are in this book, guys, an absolute masterpiece of fragrance. I love this stuff. Again, one of the themes of the list today, you're not going to find anything out there that smells like Jubilation 25. So it's one that I highly recommend, again, if you're looking for something unique, something different. And check this one out from the house of Amouage. This one is called Jubilation 25. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the house of Xerjoff, and this is from the Casa Marati collection, and this one is simply called 1888. 1888. And guys, this fragrance to me is nothing short of a masterpiece. It is beautifully blended, as most fragrances from the house of Xerjoff are. But this thing is so freaking unique. It's complex, but it just smells absolutely amazing. And what they've done here, they've taken a floral note of carnation and combine that really with a nice, really warm, ambery accord. That's the 2 main things that you get with this fragrance. Now, what really helps to pull this thing together, it makes the whole fragrance really creamy and milky. And I know sometimes, you know, a lot of people say this smells like root beer, but when I think about milky and I hear carnation, I think about carnation milk. And that's a good way to think about what you get in this fragrance, because the sandalwood in this gives this fragrance a really, really nice creaminess. It works beautifully with the amber in this fragrance to give it that warm, overall warm sensation with the nice floral that you get from the carnation. This thing is masterfully blended, but you get the stages as you go throughout the course and the wearing of this fragrance. So again, I haven't smelled anything like this before, and I have a very extensive collection. I've smelled a lot of things. Very unique, very well done, very, very, very complex. From the house of Xerjoff, this is called 1888. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list, the house of Xerjoff, is going like Drake. We're going back to back. So this one is called 40 Knots from the house of Xerjoff. And man, you talk about a fragrance that is unique and complex. Trust me, there is nothing on the market like this. Even if you get something that kind of matches this fragrance as it relates to, you know, the sea salty, you know, kind of aquatic vibe that you get from this fragrance, I guarantee you is not going to develop in the 3 different stages that you get of this particular scent. You get the sea salty kind of aquatic thing with this, as I mentioned. Then you get a very green fragrance, and then you get a fragrance that is slightly resinous. And the thing I love about it, which makes it so unique, if you hear folks talk about this fragrance, and you know how we like to ascribe a fragrance to a particular season, people cannot figure out what season is best for this fragrance, because that's really about what portion or what stage of this fragrance stands out to you the most. Whether it's the aquatic or the green, or it could be the kind of resinous quality that you start to get when this fragrance starts to dry down. It would all determine on which season I would say that you figure, or you would think is going to be the best for this particular scent. But guys, beautifully blended, well crafted, masterpiece in my opinion. So check this one out if you want something unique and complex. Of course, again, we're talking about another fragrance from, of course, the house of Xerjoff. This one is called 40 Knots. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the house of Frederic Malle, another fragrance house that I would recommend if you, again, are looking for something complex. A lot of their offerings are very, very unique and complex and well crafted. With that being said, this fragrance is one that allowed me to be introduced to a fragrance that uses a note that I typically hate of tuberose, but I love the way it's done in this fragrance, and this one is called Carnal Flower. This is called Carnal Flower. Now, I really reserve this fragrance for special occasions, but when I do it, man, I do it and I rock it. Tuberose is the main note in this, but you have this very, very nice freshness and almost minty vibe that comes from the use of eucalyptus in this fragrance. It works really, really well with the other florals in this. In addition to the tuberose, you have a nice note of jasmine. You get a lot of jasmine in this as well. But everything in this fragrance is really balanced out really well by the use of coconut. I really, really like coconut in fragrances, and this is done well in this fragrance where it doesn't cheapen or cause this fragrance to lose its integrity. Very, very well done. Very, very unique, very well crafted. I've never smelled anything like this one. So again, like I've talked about the theme of this list, if you're looking for something complex, something unique, something very, very well done, then check this one out from the house of Frederic Malle. This one is called Carnal Flower. All right, guys, and last but not least on this list today, this fragrance comes from the house of Nishane Ege, and this one is called Ege. This one is called Ege, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that, E-G-E, Ege, from the house of Nishane Ege. Another very, very unique scent. Now, this one made the list because it is just extremely unique. It's very, very spicy. It's an aromatic, spicy fragrance. It's really, really aromatic. The spiciness that you get in here from the basil, but here's that note again, mint. The mint to me is what really, really makes this fragrance unique and stand out, because it's used with notes that I typically don't see used in fragrances. When you see a note of mint that is so prominent, it has an anise note in here, and this thing is just very, very complex and it's different, but I like it because you get a lot of freshness from the mint and a lot of spiciness in this fragrance. And again, it really, really is blended well, just like most fragrances that you're going to find from the house of Nishane Ege. And again, it's in a straight de parfum, so it really performs great. So you got this nice, fresh, kind of minty fragrance with anise and also the licorice as it starts to dry down. Very unique pairing of notes, but it really works because it stays fresh, specifically because of that mint. So check this one out if you're looking for something unique from the house of Nishane. This one is called Ege. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today as I gave you some very complex and unique fragrances. I would love to hear from you in the comments section as it relates to fragrances you have in your collection that you feel are really well done. Very complex and unique fragrances as well. I would love to hear what you guys have in your collection that fall into that particular category. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos because, of course, you could have been doing anything else in the world, man, but you took a few moments to watch, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe, and go ahead and share these videos out to some folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darren, the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.